Never seen a lame man walk. Never heard a dumb man talk. Never seen a blind man see. I promise you a change is made. Never seen a canceled death. Never seen all the poor get fed. Never seen a prisoner set free. I promise you a change is made.
It's your boy Bigger T coming at you live and in heaven color. Well, unless you're on an audio podcast, and then I'm not in living color. But anyway, I'm here as usual.
There.
I'm here. Your boy Bigger T, Travis Johnson, and I'm with my co-host, the man with the most. He is a daddy celebrating Father's Day. He loves it when you call him Big Papa.
I do. I really do.
Hey, what's up, Clint?
Man, what is going on? It is actually nice that you actually want to talk to me this week, because last week you're like, I don't care about you.
I know, the last couple of weeks I just kind of zipped past you.
Like you zoomed me out, like you tuned me out.
But I'm giving you full-fledged, man. Just tell the people hello.
Man, hey, everybody. And for all you dads out there, I know this won't be released after Father's Day, but happy Father's Day to you. I hope you all are having just the best of days.
That's right.
Days.
You know, Clint, I was, I preached, that we're recording this on Sunday afternoon because I got church camp this week. And so don't have internet up there. But I preached this morning, and some of the guys in the church are like, yeah, that's the way it is. You're always real sweet to the moms on Mother's Day, and you're going to be hard on the fellas. But I was nice to the guys this morning, Clint. You'll be proud of me. I wasn't hard on the guys.
Good. Didn't beat them up too bad?
I didn't beat them up too bad. It was good. So had a lot of fun. Well, Clint, let's jump in. We got the last couple of weeks stuff to talk about, but that's going to lead into to some other things. Let's talk about our Holy Snackies moment. We haven't done this in the last couple of weeks on this podcast. We like to do a Holy Snackies moment because we got that.
The last 2 weeks were in themselves Holy Snackies moments for us.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple of weeks have been Holy Snackies moments for us. But Clint, tell the people what our Holy Snackies for this week is.
All right.
I'll just be over here.
You be over here. So Zach Collier, a 27-year-old history teacher who's a graduate of Texas A&M University, which I believe stands for Agriculture and Mechanics.
Probably does, yep.
I think so.
I bet they shop at a farm store like Atwood's.
Like Arkansas Tech is technically Arkansas Polytechnic University. I don't know why I know this stuff. I just do. Because it was cesspool useless. So he graduated. So he was singing the national anthem, I think, for a TCU game. Singing the national anthem. Mm-hmm. Does a horns down.
Yeah.
A little ha-ha joke.
Yeah.
Little ha-ha jokes. They never hurt anybody.
Never hurt anybody.
So he's going to get to sing the national anthem at the College World Series.
Yeah.
And he loses it because he'd done the horns down gesture.
Oh,
like, I mean, come on. Are you?
Once again, Clint, this proves Longhorns are soft.
They are soft.
They're soft.
Yeah.
Look, is this hurting your feelings? Is that hurting your feelings? Come on, people, really?
Man,
horns down.
Oh, yeah, I ain't. You know, and I played for Arkansas University, and we were the Wonder Boys, and we'd get all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
like you'd come up Wonder Bread. At no point did I go, "You said Wonder Bread."
Yeah,
I can't play here. I can't play here.
That's right. What?
Stop! Make the mean man stop with his hand gestures. Don't let him sing the anthem.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, y'all come. I mean, just Texas is that lady that brings the potato salad with raisins in it.
That's right.
That's who Texas is.
That's who they are.
They should call it the University of Karen.
That's right.
I mean, it just.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there's somebody in Texas had to have said something, because there's no way they're just like,
When they come in the SEC, if they start bringing that stuff, let's just boot them out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already
go do your Texas network and just have fun by yourself.
Leave us alone.
That's right.
Go be
okay. Now, Clint, I called you the other day and I asked you a question.
You've asked. We've actually probably talked more over the phone the last 2 weeks.
That's right.
Than any other two humans have.
But here's the question I asked you.
Yeah.
I said, "Is this real life?"
Yeah, for real. Is it real life?
Because if you've been paying attention to this podcast, look, we love doing this podcast, and we're going to do it no matter what kind of guests we have on.
Yeah.
But we've been blessed the last couple of weeks. And one of them was, I mean, we started off big, dude. Literally. And all. Our first big time guest. Okay, look, we've had some other guests on here.
We have.
And apologies to them. They were great guys. And we're thankful for them. But Clint.
But they didn't play 9 years in the NBA.
And we didn't pretend we were them when we played as kids.
Right, yeah.
In our driveways, in our backyards.
For sure.
When we were playing ball. I would pretend I was Oliver Miller.
I would too.
In the driveway on the 8-foot goal. Okay. I would pretend I'm Oliver Miller. Passing it out to Todd Day and Lee Mayberry. One of literally our Razorback heroes came on this podcast and talked ball with us, talked Razorbacks, and watched a regional baseball game with us. We were watching.
He really did. That was awesome. That was awesome.
And he couldn't have been a nicer guy. And it was just fun to see how big of a Razorback fan he is. You know. Yeah. That was just so neat, wasn't it?
It really was. And just watching him get fired up every time, something good would happen, how much, and the way he's been tweeting and stuff like that, you can tell, like, okay. And I think Arkansas sports is better off for having an alum like Oliver Miller, who obviously is now on this public forum, who's constantly tweeting, talking good things about the Razorbacks. I mean, he's a freaking legend. He's a legendary basketball player. And when me and you, we did our basketball draft a while back, we kind of started with that era, because that's where me and you kind of first had came along. And Moncrief, Delph, Sutton, they laid a foundation, and then they came in and just took it to another level.
Yeah.
That was the class. And here's recruiting story. The story about Nolan being there and wearing his cowboy boots and polka dot shirt in probably a less than savory neighborhood in Fort Worth.
Oh man. If you haven't watched that interview, folks, please go back, watch it. It's so worth it. The story about, a lot of people don't realize, especially if you're younger, that 92 UNLV Arkansas game, folks.
Yeah.
That was huge. And like I'd forgotten about, he mentioned, as teenagers, he's a teenager at the time. And the war was starting in Iraq, when the first war with Iraq was just getting going. And I forgot that was happening during that. And UNLV was number one in the nation, a great team, one of the best teams like ever assembled. Okay. Greg Ackles, Stacey Augman, Anthony Hunt, Greg Anthony, Larry Johnson, those guys were beasts, man. Those starting five was amazing.
Well, and Larry was the number 1 overall pick in the draft, the first ever pick, I believe, for the Charlotte Hornets.
That's right.
If I'm not mistaken. I mean, they literally, you have a blank slate and you're like, okay, we're going to build a franchise around this guy. And they're like, Larry Johnson.
That's right.
It's him. We're good. And they became competitive pretty quickly because of him.
And then, and they came into Barnhill, and the who's who was there. I'll never forget hearing Mark Henry share about when he was at that game, because he was Hunter Henry's dad. Me and you got a chance to know him when we were in high school.
Right.
And he told the story about seeing Walter Payton at that game. And all the other famous people that were at that game. I mean, it was just a who's who. Everybody came to Fayetteville, Arkansas for that game. And so, we got to talk to a guy who was front and center. Okay. And that's for a Razorback fan, that was special for me. And I know it was for you too.
No, it is. And what I love about it is you usually map out the questions. And look, Travis does all the work on this podcast. I just show up and make ha-ha jokes. No, I help a little, but Travis does the heavy lifting on this.
Yeah.
So Travis comes with all this, and I just get to ask off the cuff questions. Travis is a straight-laced guy. Well, not straight-laced, but you get what I'm saying. He's the guy that keeps it going. I get to ask questions, and I just, and so when I ask, about, did y'all give Todd Day a punt? It was a hard time about throwing that punch at Larry Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm forever grateful that I asked that question because I know if it had been like one of my boys, I would like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
Like, really, come on. And then to hear how Nolan roasted him watching film.
Yeah.
And then he kept rewinding, like, you ain't gonna swing on Mr. Johnson. You're
right.
ain't gonna swing on Mr. Johnson.
Yeah. That was priceless. If you haven't watched it, go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it.
After we showed that one, after we released that one, I get a call from my good buddy Mike Floyd, and he says, "Hey, I think we can work it out. I can help you get Michael Turner." And I'm like, "Are you kidding?" Like, look.
And that's one of them things that somebody tells you, like, hey, I think there's a chance we can make this happen. And you're like, oh, great, that's awesome. And you don't expect it to actually happen. You're like, okay, that's really cool. Thank you very much. Thank you. And you're like, oh, no, it's not.
And there's a reason we didn't announce it ahead of time until we put the video out. Because last thing I wanted to do was announce it ahead of time and then have to tell people, we don't have that big of a crowd that watch this, but we do now because those two videos. But Michael Turner was a big get. Thanks once again to Mike Floyd.
Very, very much so.
And what a great interview with him.
And what's hilarious that you say that is I have coworkers at work, and one of them, Mark, he's dying to come on the podcast and talk West Virginia sometime. I'm like, no one cares about West Virginia. No, I mean, but he'd be a good one to have on especially whenever we start doing picks again. If we decide to do it that way again, who knows what we'll do? I'm already blown up and I'm calling myself Arkansas Joe Rogan at this point. But no, so he was listening to the buzz, and John Neighbors, like, he said, basically, they'd love to have Michael Turner on, but they've heard he's not a good interview. And he said, or something like that, something along those lines about him not being a good interview. And he was like, guys, my friends have this podcast. You need to go listen to that because Michael Turner is a fantastic interview.
Wonderful.
That was, I felt like I left. We sat down for an hour and we got to talk to Michael Turner. I felt like at the end of that hour, number one, I knew a lot more about Michael Turner, his story, his journey from a kid in Warren, Ohio, to going to Kent State, to going to Arkansas. Guys, he was this close to being Kentucky Wildcat.
That's right.
That close.
Yeah.
I mean, and so that was an insane story. That, and then going to Arkansas, and man, just some of the stuff that he talked about on there. were like, what really has stuck out to me, from that interview, and we haven't on any of the clips, and it's not one that we've talked about a lot. We said, you can get as good as you want to get here. If you have the drive, he goes, I could leave right now and set up a machine to go throw me grounders if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Because I could set this up and go hit. He goes, Arkansas has done a good job to build the type of facilities and the type of infrastructure where you can go get as good as you want to get.
Yeah.
He goes, you have no excuses. You have the best coaches. You got the best facilities. You have no excuses. And that has really stuck out to me. How about you, Travis?
Well, I just to play off what you're saying there, that's one of the reasons I asked him about that. I said, and I didn't say it exactly this way, but statistically, he's having the best year of his career. And look, in baseball, there's a reason guys hit better in AA than they do in the pros. It's because you're going against AA pitchers.
Right. Yeah.
So now he's going against SEC pitchers instead of what's Kent State, MAC.
Yeah. MAC.
Okay. He's going against SEC pitchers, guys that are going to be drafted, especially those Friday night pitchers that he's going against are guys that's going to be drafted, right? And he's having his statistical best year ever. Okay. A lot of times transfers come in, he was brought in mainly to be a defensive stopgap we lose Opitz and we got Leach coming in as a young guy. They needed someone to kind of bridge the gap. And he was a good defensive catcher with a great arm. And he's turned into one of our best offensive guys too. And like you said, what a wonderful kid. What a great interview.
Yeah.
Just, couldn't have been easier to talk to,
No, and that's just it. Is the entire, me and Travis, we tinkered around with different things and different ha-ha things. We settled on a format. And then really the format of this podcast is two best friends talking back and forth is what it is. And when we interview somebody, we want them to feel like, hey, you're our third best friend, and we're going to talk back and forth. And Michael Turner and Oliver Miller could not have been better at that.
Oh, yeah.
They really, it flowed so naturally and seamlessly, even though, at the end of talking to Michael Turner, when he didn't know who Dave Grohl was, I felt old.
That's right. Yeah.
I really
both of us did.
I think I was like, you don't know who.
I brought that up and he's like, yeah, I don't know who Dave Grohl is. And he probably didn't know much about Nirvana. And
he doesn't know.
At least he's a Browns fan.
Kind of a Browns fan. He's like,
and Clint, we were nice to him. We were really nice to him.
We were.
Because he said growing up he was a big soccer player.
We did.
We're not the biggest of soccer fans.
No, we're not.
We could have made some jokes there, some jabs, but we were nice because we're good-hearted.
Now, and I think I've told it on this podcast how I became my daughter's soccer coach.
Yeah, you told me.
I was like, it's good. But it's a good one for kids to go run around and get some energy. But apparently he was really good. Like he was.
Well, I sent him a tweet, a message after the game, the first game of the World Series. I said, great job today. Great job calling the game. And by the way, awesome job showing off those wheels on that infield single. Because he got that single down the line and legged it out there at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
They put Leach in after that. So
now, one of the things we learned in that interview was actually brought up by the ESPN guys.
Right.
At the game. You had mentioned it, and the commentators, one of the commentators brought it up. Now, he may have got it in the interviews before the game, but we have a good imagination here, so we think he watched our podcast.
Yeah,
and he saw the interview, and he heard when you asked Michael Turner how much of the game he calls, when he said 98%, I was blown away.
I was too. Because you see all the catchers have that earpiece, and so you just assume that Dave Van Horn's over there calling the game. or Coach Hobbs is calling the game. He's like, no, I call 98% of it. And I assume Casey Opus did the same. They brought that up, that that Arkansas is one of the teams that lets their catcher call the game.
And that's what makes a game like the first game of the World Series so amazing. Connor Nolan was doing a good job, but to know now what we know, a lot of that was Michael Turner making those calls.
No, and a great catcher will make all the difference in the world. When Yadier Molina came up, his first couple of years when he became the full-time starter, and Yadier Molina was a below-average batter at best.
Mm.
And they brought that up to Tony Russo, and Tony Russo like, I don't care if the man bats 0. You realize how many runs he saves us a game?
That's right.
He goes, Yadier Molina is my catcher. He goes, I don't care if the man bats 0. And the other thing is, a lot of people gripe about his style and him talking about that. And he's like, you'd have no idea, going back. And I think it's even the second time I watched the podcast or listened to it, we're talking about how you can steal so many more pitches at the bottom of the zone, catching the way he catches.
Mm.
And that was telling me, he's like, I like this style. And he goes, look, people gripe about balls getting past me, but if you ask him,
you could tell in his answer to that question, he's heard those people chirping.
Yeah, but he's like, no. He goes, you ask Connor, you ask any of these guys. He goes, yeah.
And like we said, it's working for him. Why change it? Well, let's talk about the World Series, Clint. The College World Series. Hogs, of course. We got to watch them with Oliver Miller there as they beat Oklahoma State. Then they go to Chapel Hill. We talked about some of that with Michael Turner, and they go in and they do a good job beating them in 2 games. Then they start off with Stanford. Now, Stanford, I was nervous about this game, Clint.
I was too. I'd read 24/7. They'd actually picked Stanford 8-5.
They'd beaten us before.
Yeah, you're going against their ace.
That's right. They have a couple of future major leaguers, batters that are really good. And then one of their pitcher before the game says, I'll take our offense over their offense. Famous last words. And man, the Hogs came in and just Connor Nolan was throwing. He only got 1 strikeout the whole game, but he averaged just a little over 10 pitches an inning. The defense played well behind him. They made plays. There was no, there's no slipping in the outfield like they've had in the past and stuff like that. And then, did you see that one guy from Stanford took the ball off the top of the head?
I didn't see it. I went to go get lunch.
Oh, okay. And
it became an entire ordeal.
Well,
I'm going to gripe about it right now, Travis.
Okay.
So I went to Come and Go because I'm going to get one of their grain bows. I meal prep my food. I'm like, I'm going to go get. I'm just going to go there. I go over to Come and Go. Their kitchen's closed.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to drive over to Salem because I'm in Conway. I was like, drive over to Salem. I'm going to get Moe's because I want to hear him go, welcome to Moe's.
That's right, yeah.
And then I get over to Moe's on Salem and it's out of business. Sunday, but yeah, I know. Like, how does a Moe's go out of business? And so I end up a tropical smoothie, and it takes so long to get my food. Yeah, I'm griping about your tropical smoothie. Tweet at me. I don't care. So it took so long. I had to listen to the first inning on the radio. And I tell you what, both pitchers took it right on the chin with the first batter.
Yeah, yeah.
Connor did, and the guy from Stanford did. Connor just responded.
Yeah.
And the guy from Stanford did too. He got it back on the rails there because he had the bases loaded at the end of the first. And then he also, and Jalen Battles, bless him, he's stranded 5 runners on base the first few innings.
Yeah.
So, but they were able to bounce back.
Yeah. Well, and it was, man, first of all, the pitching performance our offense did great. They did a good job, but the pitching performance really set us up for the rest of the World Series because you got Connor went a lot of innings, what was 7 innings?
Yeah, he was in the seventh inning, and I think he looked over Van Horn and goes, "Yeah, I'm done."
And
Gotta give him
The
that.
thing is, he didn't go with that many pitches. Okay, so he's going to recover quickly. And then the next two guys, Ramage and Vermillion, that they put in, if I remember right, I'm pretty sure Ramage didn't play in the Super Regional. And I want to say Vermillion may not have played. He might have pitched in the Super.
Well,
but not much.
I do think you're going into Monday with the only pitcher that you would say would be unavailable would be Connor Nolan.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And you got some work. You got everyone else had some work in the Super Regional. So you got two guys that didn't have much work in the Super Regional, got some work after Connor. So they're going to come out ready to roll the rest of the time because they're available. They'll be available Monday. So, I mean, if you need them, which they're not going to need them probably. I mean, because they're going to go, it's
McIntyre probably.
McIntyre or Zach Morris, they said today. It's going to be one of those two. He hasn't said which one yet. But I'm going to guess it's probably going to be McIntyre. I think he likes him. I think he likes him starting and Zach Morris coming in second. Of course, it could depend on their batters. Now we're playing Ole Miss Monday. We played Ole Miss in the season, and Ole Miss won the first game. We won the second two. So that should be it's not going to be an easy matchup at all.
No, you're talking at this point. If the season, Arkansas loses their next two games, we're not finishing worse than sixth.
Yeah,
I mean that's the reality of it. You're not finishing worse than sixth because you got Texas A&M playing an elimination game today, and then Notre Dame, Oklahoma playing. That you're one win away. If you win this Ole Miss game, you're at the catbird seat to get to the national championship series. It is an absolute huge game. Because now you're talking about you can sit there and whoever makes it through has got to beat you twice.
Yeah. One thing we have to worry about though, Clint.
Go ahead.
We had a big game. We scored a lot of points this first game. But I'm just going to say it out loud. I'm not trying to speak negative.
No.
But let's remember last year at North Carolina State.
For sure.
Because we came out against them the first game and we scored 21, beat them 21-2. The next two games, we lost 5-6 and 2-3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so these kids lived through that.
Yes.
These kids remember that. These kids are very aware of that.
Yeah.
And I don't think the mission is over. I don't think any of these kids think the mission is over.
Yeah.
None of them, they're like, yeah, that's awesome. On to the next one. But the big thing is I hate to bring up Michael Turner again in this incident with Michael Turner, is this team that seemed to be kind of floundering, not doing so hot. I think this Ruskin Michael Turner incident galvanized the team.
Yeah.
I really do. I think this was that major league moment where the GM walks in and Lou Brown's sitting there and he goes, I just need, we're real close. I just need something to bring it all together.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, she wants to move the team to Miami. Yeah. I think Ruskin, going after Turner like he did was, I'm going to give Turner, he addressed it, he wasn't a jerk about it, but he also at no point did he like, I'm not talking about it, so don't even ask.
Yeah. No.
I mean, so
he was willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
And but I think too, you got Caden Wallace is a year older and you can see out there on the field, he's a better leader. He's kind of more of a leader. He's always kind of talking the guys up and things like that. You got people like a Connor Nolan. You got people like a Michael Turner, who's definitely a leader out there. Lanzilli, who's an older guy that's come in.
Yeah.
Those guys know what happened last year. They know, just like, when we talked about it on here with Turner,
with
about
Oregon
the pop
State
fly, the Oregon State pop fly. He knew about that. he knew from that hurt from the past. So I think these guys have been very mature with the way they've handled everything so far.
And I tell you, this team, I think more than anything else, has decided they're going to have fun again.
Yeah.
You look at that dugout, you look at the way they're celebrating. They're not being cocky. They're not showboating. They're not showing anybody up. Yeah. But they are having fun. They are having lots and lots of fun over there.
They're enjoying it.
Yeah, they well, they should. Like Michael Turner is a fifth-year senior and using his COVID year. Mm. He's in Omaha.
Yeah.
I'm sure when he's playing at Kent State, he only dreamed about playing in Omaha.
Yeah. Yeah. It's they're enjoying it. They really are. And you can tell and they believe in each other. And so, and I tell you, it was good seeing Moore on Robert Moore on second base, having the game he had this last weekend.
Yeah. No, because he's struggled this year. Robert Moore's probably struggled more than anybody.
Yeah.
You want to say regressed. And I don't know if regressed or maybe, the thing about sports is somebody's always trying to find a way to beat you. Yeah. Everybody's always trying to find your weakness and exploit it. Yeah. And maybe pitcher's got a little bit smarter about some of the things he's done.
That play he had toward the end of the game, going behind second base and making that throw, Clint. That was amazing. What a play. And I was like, when I saw it happen, I was thinking, okay, they're about to do the replay and they're going to give it to them because the ball didn't seem to get there that fast, But what he did was he got it out of his glove so fast. It got over there and ended up getting the out, and it was unbelievable, man. What a play. Made SportsCenter top 10 and was one of the best defensive plays we've seen all year for sure. Yeah. Well, and our buddy Robert's up there in Omaha.
He did. Looks like he needs a little aloe vera.
Yeah, that's right. He sent us a Marco Polo message and had a little sunburn on the old cheeks there. Looked a little rough, but that's okay. Well, maybe he'll be all right.
So let me ask you a question, because you know me and my lack of patience pretty well, Travis.
I do.
I think it'd be a terrible idea for me to ever go to Omaha knowing the line you have to stand in to get in.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'd be like complaining and just the entire time. It'd be like,
Yeah, you probably wouldn't even make it into the game.
I'd probably get thrown out by.
You'd be back at the hotel watching it on TV.
Yeah, man.
But I had some buddies that went up there, and there was 4 of them. And what they would do is 2 of them would stay in line, and 2 of them would go sit in the car in the AC, and then they just rotate every 30 minutes or an hour or so. I guess that's one way to do it. But if you get those general admission tickets, you're standing in line if you want a decent seat. So
I think Branscombe, he's balling now, and so he's banging that stupid hometown roofing money. I think he was in like a 100-year checks box or something.
Well, no, I think he was in line for that Notre Dame game.
Oh yeah. So
anyway,
now Arkansas's fans have showed up and represented in Omaha.
Oh yeah.
Like they said, I think it may have been Michael Turner. I don't remember which player it was. They go, there was so much red out there because Stanford's color also red.
Yeah.
Cardinal red, well, however you want to say it. But
yeah.
They
have a tree.
Yeah, it's a tree. But he said, yeah, no, we heard them. We got to go order which fans are ours. Yeah. Like, no, we heard them. Yeah. We heard them.
Yeah, that's great.
So, yeah, they are Arkansas fans consuming, not that we condone this behavior, consuming a lot of Jello shots, apparently.
That's right, yeah.
Y'all be sure to have a designated driver because Jello shots will still get you drunk and get you DUI.
And Ole Miss is right there.
Yeah.
I saw someone on Twitter was asking for Vimo to help buy Jello shots. I'm sorry. I mean, we put our money to something better than that. Anyway, I mean, I know we want to win stuff, but Anyway, all right. Now, Clint, also there's been some talk this week with basketball.
Yes.
Of course, Musselman came out and had a little state of the program press conference the other day. And the team is all together finally. Anthony Black had been down in, was it Mexico? Playing with the American team.
I'm not sure where it was, but I remember he was playing with Team USA.
Team USA. And man, the feedback that they were getting about his play down there was amazing. That he was doing things that just playing out of this world.
Yeah.
That the coaches down there were calling Musselman and just telling him that he was just showing out. And of course, Musselman's pretty fired up about that. They had Devo Davis and Kamani Johnson at the press conference, and they talked a little bit. And one of the things they talked about was this team is going to be deadly defensively.
No, I've heard that.
Like already in practices, they're hard to score on. Yeah. That people are going to have a hard time scoring on this team. That's exciting news to hear.
It is. You know what? With the talent that he has up there now, because like you said, you can literally split into two teams now and have each team have 2 5-stars.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can. I mean, literally, you can do it. You can do an inter-squad game, and you can say, okay, you take Nick Smith, and I'm Braveheart on the transfer from Arizona State.
Yeah.
And then you put Anthony Black and Walsh on the other team. Like, okay, the pickup games have got to be just so intense around there.
Yeah.
Just the little scrimmage games, because you hear the Magic Johnson story. They talk about maybe the greatest basketball game ever played, whereas like they had Magic and Larry Bird on one team, then Jordan, and they were just going back and forth. And one team had Malone, the other team had Barkley, and they were just. Well, they said Magic's like, y'all can have Leitner. We don't want him. Keep the college kid. We don't want him. So at the end of the game, they're like, okay, Jordan, you're the GOAT.
But this team, man, Clint, the biggest thing that I think we all say that's going to be the issue is, are they going to gel together? And one of the things this team has going for it is they're going to take a trip over into Europe. I guess they get to do these every 4 years.
Yeah.
They're going to Spain and Italy, right?
Italy, yes.
And so
a 10-day trip, like August 6th through the 16th, I believe.
But the best things about that is it gives them some extra practices, and it gives them some games. Well, honestly, when you're on an airplane together, when you're in a foreign country together in hotels, that's bonding time. And that's bonding time. You can't recreate that.
Right.
You can't reproduce that in other ways. That's just a natural way to do it. And then you go out and play games. That's going to help this team immensely, I believe, to gel into the team that the talent can let it be.
No, I agree with you 110%, because I think chemistry is such a big thing. And one thing I regret not asking Michael Turner is, do you have any traditions, before a game or when you get somewhere like the night before? Because one thing we do at Tech is me and Matt Nelson would always play, my roommate, Matt Nelson, who was the starting left tackle, and I was the backup to the backup to the backup to the backup center. And then we would play the starting right tackle, Clint Reed, and starting left guard, Todd Matthews in spades. That's what we do every time.
Yeah.
Every night before the game, we would get together, we'd get down the room, we'd play spades. So I regret not asking that question. But they're going to be doing things like that, whether, it's playing dominoes or bringing the Xbox and playing whatever people are playing these days.
Yeah.
I was going to say Fortnite, but I doubt people play Fortnite anymore.
Yeah, that's getting kind of old, I think.
I don't know. I don't know. I've still got my Atari hooked up in the living room.
That's right, yeah.
Play a little Tecmo Bowl.
Little pong action. That's right. But yeah, man, the basketball team sounding like it's going to be something special. I mean, we know that the talent, but I just like what I'm hearing already. The way they already seem to be gelling, the way they already seem to be bonding, especially when Devo Davis and Kamani Johnson come out. And Devo was like, yeah, this team's going to be tough. Like his eyes were wide. He was like, this is going to be good. This is going to be real good.
Yeah. Well, the highest recruit that's ever committed to Arkansas or signed with Arkansas was Al Jefferson at number 3.
Yeah.
Nick Smith is number 1.
Yeah.
And Al Jefferson made a living in the NBA. I don't think he was number 3 player in the country level NBA, but I mean, he was. But, you know, you got probably 3 one-and-dones on this team.
Well, and, you know, the thing is, they're saying, you know, just something about Nick Smith. They're saying he's stepped on the floor as a vocal leader.
Yeah.
Someone said he's never seen a guy be as vocal as a freshman as what Nick Smith is. That he's stepped on it and he's become a leader on this team. I still think Darian Ford is going to be special. I think in a hinge on this team.
No, and I agree with you, but I think, you know, Nick Smith, he's played a lot with Jordan Walsh, and he played a lot with Anthony Black.
Yeah.
So I think he already knows some of the players. And he grew up in North Little Rock, so let's not act like him and Devo probably ain't hooped 1,000 times together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like he's unfamiliar, so he should be familiar.
Yeah.
And when you're that good of a basketball player, you're used to being the leader on the team.
Yeah.
I mean, just it is what it is. And so I think, you know, you don't get that number 1 ranking, number 1 recruit in the country and not have earned it. It's not one of the things they just like, oh, he's a nice kid, let's give him this. Like, no, you
earn it. That's right.
Yeah, you had because 24/7 they're putting their reputation on the line.
That's right.
When they say, okay, this kid's good.
Yeah. Now another thing, Clint, big news came out this week, and my favorite video game of all time, next to Galaga. Galaga's number 1 for me. But second is NCAA football.
Right. No, I'm so excited about this.
And I guess in 2023, is that right? They're saying that.
Yes, July 2023. Yeah, EA Sports, NCAA football 2023 is back.
Man.
Now we live in the NIL age, you know, and why you have your great NIL deals like rent to own company sponsoring Michael Turner.
That's right.
Which is like, I messaged him on Twitter and like, are you guys, are you serious right now? Are we really doing this? That was a pretty funny story. He's like, I just messaged on Twitter. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I like money.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's back. Now they did announce, well, I took a screenshot of it earlier. So they're going to pay out in 4 deals. According to documents I've inspected, this is from Matt Brown. I believe he's from the Washington Post. EA Sports College Football is still slated for a July 23 release. EA is trying to get more school-specific audio assets. Like they want the hog call, they want cheers. Now school payouts are going to range from a little over 100,000 to 10,000. So they're going to do it in tiers, and it's going to be based off the number of AP top 25 finishes over a 10-year period. So tier 1 is going to be like 105, 104.9. Tier 2 is going to be 62.9. Tier 3 is 41.9, and tier 4 is $10,000. So, you know, your schools like Alabama will be able to use this as a recruiting tool. Clemson's, you know, hopefully Arkansas can get there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be it's, they're going to have to pay the kids.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, a lot of this got started, I believe it was the O'Bannon brothers.
Ed O'Bannon. Yeah.
Ed O'Bannon, who I don't like, but nothing about the lawsuit, because I can understand, it was the right thing to do all along to compensate these kids for their name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
Because what was the first thing we would do? You'd go in and try to find something where you could download something that would name the players.
Yeah.
Or you'd spend a night like renaming the Arkansas players. Like, this is Tyler Wilson.
Yeah. No, you're right. And man, it was, of course, I love the recruiting mode on it. And I'd be playing it, and I would get to the end of my season, and I'd stay up all night to get through to the next season, because I, just want to finish it up. I get so excited about it. So,
yeah. Well, I remember waiting outside. This is how old I am. You youngsters, you millennials and Gen Zers listen to this, probably won't remember this, but I remember one year I got off work. I was working at the movie theater at the time, so I was off late. I went to GameStop.
Yeah.
I went to GameStop. I waited outside GameStop for them to do the midnight release so I could go get my Xbox 360 game and take it home and play it.
I went down to El Dorado for the midnight release at Walmart there and stood in line in the electronics section for the midnight release for the PlayStation version.
Yeah, I just remember making a joke like, none of us are going to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
We all going to be up all night.
Yeah, it was man, such a good game. So much fun. And so hopefully I played Madden, but I always liked NCAA better, just because.
Yeah, I wish they had one of the retro versions that you could download on Xbox One, because I probably would pay for it.
I'd always, you'd create a school. I'd do Worcester State University.
I remember you do the Worcester State Wave.
Yeah.
Very
and it was a great, it was great. Hey, by the way, I found out what Worcester's high school mascot used to be.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued now.
Was the Bobcats, the Worcester Bobcats.
Okay.
And their colors were red and white.
How long has it been since Worcester's had a high school? Because I'm
like the early 60s.
I'm 46 and I've never heard of it.
Yeah, when I first moved to Worcester in '87, the gymnasium was still standing, but it was in bad shape. Like,
yeah.
I went in it one time because my stepdad was looking at, him and a friend were thinking about bidding on tearing it down so they could keep the lumber and sell the lumber, because people buy old lumber like that, that's if it's still in pretty good shape for remodeling projects. But it was just too tall of a building for them to handle. They didn't have the equipment to handle. But anyway, sorry folks, you may not have cared about that, but the Worcester Bobcats, for those of y'all, Michael McDaniel, you got another one in your toolbox there.
Travis, you want me to put a smile on your face real quick?
Sure.
Texas A&M is up 8-2 on the Texas Longhorns.
Oh, hey, there we go.
Yeah. SEC.
I don't know, man. A&M's tough.
Yeah, no. A&M would be they're one of the highest. They're the second highest rated seed left. Stanford's one, and A&M's.
Yeah. Clint, did you ever go to church camp?
I never did.
Never did?
No, I don't think my parents trusted me to act right.
Well, I went for 30-something years straight. And then of course, I left the youth ministry. And then now I'm going back tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to it because it'll be fun. I'm not staying in the dorm. I'm staying in they got some separate, they call them hotel rooms, but they're pretty much, they got just a little room with 2 twin beds in it. So I'm gonna be staying in one of those, but I got to eat church camp food, and all that good stuff. So, and it's gonna be
Now, how
hot.
does that work for you? Because I love you to death, but you're a picky eater.
No, I'm not. I'm not that picky.
Yeah, you're pretty picky.
No.
Yeah, you're picky.
No, man, I ate school lunches all the way through.
All right.
I never complained about it.
Well, maybe I've been hit in the head too many times. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I'm not that picky. I mean, I have a few things here and there, but I'm not that picky.
You know, I say that my son went all the way to Biloxi, Mississippi and back and didn't eat anything but a hamburger and fries everywhere we stopped.
Yeah, see, I can't.
When I say hamburger and fries, I mean meat, bread, and fries. That was it.
No, man, I'm not too picky. I do pretty good at camp. I don't complain about the food too much. I take some Cliff Bars with me just in case, because sometimes it's it's not very filling or whatever, and you need a little more protein, or they'll feed you something that's all carbs or something. So I'll get some. I got to have a little extra protein here and there, but other than that, no, it's not too bad. The hardest part's sleeping on those little beds.
Oh, I bet. I couldn't do it anymore. I get uncomfortable even when I'm used to sleeping with my wife and wearing a king.
Yeah.
And I just feel crowded even if I'm in a queen by myself now.
Yeah.
Like I go to share it because I'm used to the space.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of picky eater, did I tell you the story about the disappointing part of my last super fight other than the actual super fight itself?
Yeah, y'all went all the way to Memphis and you didn't get any good food.
They didn't get any good food. Like we went to Waffle House and I guess they got killed afterwards because it's like 12:30 at night.
Yeah.
We're driving back. And like where we were, Waffle House, we walked in there. I guess they got in the store and they're like, look, we got to clean for 30 minutes. Because 30 minutes before we even start taking orders.
Yeah.
And we have to drive back to Arkansas.
Yeah.
And we live in the central part of the state. So I was like, we'll just find something along the way. So I was hoping we're going to run past the Taco Bell or something whipping the drive-thru. And I'm in Memphis, so I really want to eat good barbecue. That's what I want. I'm like, I'm going to eat some ribs. I've been training hard for this thing.
Yeah.
I've just pretty much dominated for 8 minutes and 54 seconds, and I got caught with a submission like that. And so I was disappointed. I'm like, okay, at least I can go get me some barbecue.
Yeah.
Nothing like a rack of ribs to ease someone's pain.
That's right. To drown your pain.
And so I'm like, And so they're close. I end up getting a Lunchable at Love's is what I got.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
That's disappointing.
It was the most disappointing it was one of those adult looking Lunchables that had salami and cheese and crackers. So that wasn't bad, but it wasn't a rack of ribs.
That's right. Can we have a moment of silence for the Waffle House all you can eat? Remember those days, Clint?
Yeah. I mean, we would go. I think me and Matt Nelson, we went and did a patty melt plate eating contest one time. And I think I got 4 and he got 6.
Well, we used to always do I think we did it one time. Me and you went to Dallas with the church for something. And
it was a Promise Keepers convention.
And we got into it with Sandy Hudspeth. We did the all you can eat and see who could get most orders or whatever. Well, I was at Washita. We would go during finals week, and we'd go like at 2, and we'd take our books and say we were studying. We were studying, Clint.
Yes, studying.
But we would, Mike Floyd would go with us, and we'd sit there, and we'd just continuously order stuff. And then we would just see, and then one time a buddy of ours went, and he's like, hey, you don't see how many plates you can get. What you do is you take what you order and figure out how much it would be if you ordered it off the regular menu.
Oh, yeah. No, that's smart.
And you see how much you take a Waffle House for. Okay. I think I took them for like $38 worth of Waffle House food.
Nice.
It was nice. But when you get bacon with every order,
well, bacon's delicious.
It's delicious, and it's $3 a pop. So with every order, get some bacon, that runs that price up a little bit. It was good. It was good. I missed the Waffle House all you can eat, man. That was
good. I remember I'd lost after I had my knee surgery in college when I was playing football, I remember I was eating there with my ex-wife, and Coach Mullins drove by, and I got in trouble for them seeing my car at the Waffle House.
Really?
He was like, "You need to be losing weight. Don't be eating the Waffle House." I'm sorry, but I love the Waffle House.
Those patty melts are good.
Dude, at Arkansas Tech, we literally had the main road there where you turn to go to Tech. There were two Waffle Houses that you could literally throw a rock and hit the other Waffle. Like they were right across the bridge from each other.
Really?
One of them's a Butcher's Boys Burger or something like that. It's like a David Burger's knockoff. I've never ate there. It may be delicious. So if I've insulted you, I'm sorry. I don't know any better. So, but they literally had two Waffle Houses right across the Waffle parking lot. They had 3 Waffle Houses within probably a 4-mile drive of each other.
Yeah.
That's how much Russellville, Arkansas was dedicated to the Waffle House. Now there's just 2, but there's still 2 Waffle Houses in beautiful Russ Vegas.
Well, Clint, I got to make an apology real quick.
You go right on ahead.
Last week, talking to Michael Turner, I made a statement that there was no good barbecue in South Arkansas.
Okay.
And
you get corrected.
I got correct. There's a couple places. Now, most of what we have down here is trailers, food trucks.
Yeah.
Trailers, people set up at different places. And some of them aren't set up all the time. There's one of those that I got to shout out. It's Flamin' Pig. It's pretty good. It's good stuff. They have really good stuff. They have some good food. And but down in El Dorado, there's a place called Pup's Barbecue. It's probably my favorite down here.
No, I think you and Robert have been there together, haven't you?
Yeah, we have.
I remember y'all talking about that.
Yeah, they have some really good burn-ins. And then like they have a sandwich they call it a Cajun boar. It's a pork sandwich, and they put andouille sausage on it, and some boudin sausage on it. So they cut them up in little pieces, put on top of it.
It sounds amazing. Boy,
it's good.
We got a little bit of trouble for I guess we trash talked Southern Arkansas Technical University.
Yeah.
we got a little YouTube. We got a little. I think they were just making it.
Yeah, they were kind
of jest, but it's pretty fun.
Well, but we were saying that Kent State's a little better than them.
Right.
This is how SAU Tech is just now getting a baseball team, and they're in the process of building their field right now and clearing the land for their field. I would say Kent State's a lot better destination.
No, definitely a high, at least a mid-major Division I program.
Yeah.
But guys, we cannot thank you guys enough the last 2 weeks that have liked and shared. And to all our new subscribers, thank you. After the Michael Turner interview, our subscribers went from I think we're in the low 40s to we're over 50 now on YouTube alone, and that's not counting Apple and stuff. And we've got things in the works where we're going to be able to hopefully bring more interviews and more conversations. More folks will sit down and talk to myself and Travis. And hopefully have those good conversations and hearing more good stories. We're definitely interested in learning about kids' journeys and kind of what drives them and kind of what makes them and what makes them tick. And I love that I think we really learned that about Michael Turner, and we learned that about Oliver Miller. And Oliver Miller wants to come back on sometimes, and I know me and you cannot wait.
That's right. He's going to come on and talk football with us in the fall. He wants to talk football, so we are not going to deny him that. We are.
No, and honestly, I would make this the Big C, Bigger T, Big O podcast, but he's too busy. And frankly, I don't want to be Big O sidekick.
That's right.
I only want to be Travis's sidekick.
That's right. But yeah, we do listen, y'all. We thank y'all so much, those of y'all, especially those of y'all that are new listening. The kind comments we got about the interview, and I know it wasn't because of us. It was because those Big O and Michael Turner were just class guys.
And give yourself credit, Travis, because I did. You did an outstanding job.
Wow.
Directing those conversations and so give yourself credit and y'all. Travis is the one that made those happen. He reached out to Big O on Twitter and he said, "Hey, you want to do the podcast?" And Big O's like, "When?" And then he did all the conversations with Michael Turner, and he's got guys, we have been talking to other guys that you know, we're not going to give their names away, but if I could sum up them in a word, it'd be huge.
Hey, it's just the fact we're getting responses back from them that are not no, that are let us see. We're I'm excited. Okay, so we'll see who we can get. You know, we'd like to do at least one a month where we get some kind of big name current Razorback or former Razorback on here. And you know what? It doesn't hurt to ask. So that's the way we did it. You know, with the Big O, he was just bored on Twitter that Monday. And I just said, hey, man, how would you like to come on a podcast? And now, you know, I feel like we've built something good with him. So, you know, that's been a blessing for sure. And so, but listen, we couldn't do it if we didn't have people listening, Clint. If we didn't have people willing to make those clicks. And we like Clint said, we appreciate that. We appreciate you subscribing, sharing on Twitter and on Facebook. Some of y'all have been so good about doing that. And we want you to continue to do that. Okay, continue to share. Let's get those views up, and we'll just keep having fun. We'll keep making this stuff happen, and it'll be good. Okay. Well, Clint, I'm off to church camp.
Well, good luck. I hope you get it right this time and don't get kicked out.
My bags are packed. I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside the door. Anyway, I'm not leaving on a jet plane. I'm leaving in my truck.
In the F-150, isn't it?
Yeah, F-150, the blue
Ford
streak.
F-150.
Well, hey, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Like and share. We're on YouTube. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. We're on Podbean. We're on TuneIn. We're on iHeartRadio. Anywhere else, Amazon, all those places.
And here's the point of the podcast where I'm contractually obligated to say, we're on farmersonly.com, people.
That's right. Well,
this is my contract now.
Yeah. And hey, let's also thank once again, thanks Mike Floyd helping make that happen last week.
Thank you, Hometown Roofing.
We need to thank Hometown Roofing. He's been there from the get-go. Robert's been there backing us. He's bought us some meals, and
he's willing to help with other things. So I mean,
he's willing to help with some other stuff too. So if you need a roof, get your roof from Hometown Roofing, folks. They'll treat you right. He did Clint's roof, and look how dry Clint is.
No water at all.
No water. Look at him. That's right. So, all right, y'all. Have a blessed week. We will see you next week. We are out.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed.